Hi, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. Welcome back, guys. I am really excited about today's video. Every month I scramble to try and find what horror releases are happening, especially with what's going on in the world right now. A lot of movies have been pushed back. So I thought I would do a little guide and we can get excited about the movies coming out together, discuss them, and figure out if it's something we're hyped about. Obviously, at the moment, we're just talking about VOD releases because cinemas are not putting out new movies at the moment. And we do need to keep in mind that even though these are VOD releases, it does depend what country you're in. And I highly encourage, if you're interested in any of these movies, to look them up and see when they're gonna play in your country and where, meaning online platforms. I don't do this often, but I will leave the list of these films down below in the description box down at the bottom. So hopefully that works for you. The reason I don't usually do that in videos is because people just go to it and then they don't listen to the video. So I hope that makes sense. We're gonna try it out and let's see if it works. In saying all that, please subscribe if you haven't. I do 2 new videos every single week, and let's jump into it. The first film I want to talk about is The Clearing. Scheduled for the 4th of June in the US, the story is about a father who is battling his way through the zombie apocalypse, trying to save his daughter. It stars Australian actor Liam McIntyre, who is best known for his action roles. He was in Spartacus, The Flash, and The Legend of Hercules. It also stars Sidel Knoll, who is known for her role in Glow, Black Panther, and Arrow. The trailer seems like the film is very heavy on the action, and the lack of information about the film leads me to think it might be a similar, run-of-the-mill zombie flick. But I have to say, this was a very interesting marketing tactic. Not sure how I feel about that one. Obviously, this will be suited to people who love zombie films, but for me, it's not something I'm really gravitated towards. I do love some classic films. I love Shaun of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, 28 Days Later, and Wreck, but at the moment, it's not really something that I'm looking for, although I did watch Cargo not too long ago, and I absolutely loved it. But let's move to something a little bit more original, and let's talk about Becky. Set for a US release on the 5th of June, of course, video on demand, this one is labeled by some sites as a horror and others as an action thriller. The film follows Becky, played by Lulu Wilson, a young rebellious girl whose behavior has become concerning to those around her. Becky's father, played by John McHale, takes her for a weekend trip away as an effort to reconnect. But the trip takes a turn for the worse when a group of convicts break out and invade their holiday home. You may remember Wilson from Annabelle's Creation, Ouija, Origin of Evil, The Haunting of Hill House, and Sharp Objects. So I'm really excited to see her in this role. This film does kind of remind me of like a more grown-up Home Alone, which I'm here for, trust me. And I'm a fan of the crossover storyline as well, because how often do we see a rebellious teenager using her powers of angst for good, and also convicts at the same time? I mean, Home Alone, but I'm excited for this one. But the next one, I tell you, I cannot control my excitement. Let's talk about Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. This is a Shudder exclusive documentary dropping on the 4th of June, which does suck when you live in a country without Shudder, but the film is centered around the controversial Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and well, its campiness. The film follows who they dub the first male Scream Queen, Mark Patent, as he gets to the root of how the film impacted his career and changed his life. The film finally comes out of the closet for what it really is, and it does so in what I hope is a celebration of diversity in horror. I am so excited for this film. But that's not my most anticipated film for June. No. Let's talk about Shirley. I try not to buy into the hype for films before I see them, but my gosh, have critics gone wild about Shirley. Set for VOD release on the 5th of June, this film made waves at Sundance Film Festival in January. Starring Elizabeth Moss, Odessa Young, Logan Lerman, and Michael Stuhlbarg. The movie is based on famous horror writer Shirley Jackson, who is well known for her works The Lottery, We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and of course, The Haunting of Hill House. The movie is meant to be a disturbing thriller about Jackson's down spiral as tensions grow when a couple moves in with her and her husband. If you couldn't tell, I'm a huge Elizabeth Moss fan, and I don't think she's steered us wrong yet. From Girl Interrupted to The One I Love to Us, Handmaid's Tale. She picks incredible roles. Elizabeth Moss is always a wonder to watch, and this film looks sharp, thrilling, and offbeat, just how I like them. But let's talk about some straight up horror. because I know that's why you're here. The Dinner Party, another one that is set for release on the 5th of June. This horror is directed by Miles Doliak, who also stars in the film. The Dinner Party is about a couple who attend a secret dinner party that is hosted by a wealthy group of cultural elites. They have offered the couple a chance to advance their career, but this is a horror, so not everything goes to plan, and slowly the true intentions of the group are revealed. Judging by the trailer, I'm hoping they've held back on some kind of unique twist. The storyline reminds me a little bit of The Invitation, but less in a subtle, creepy way. The stills for the film do reveal a bit, so I'm not going to show you them. I'm actually trying to show you only parts of trailers that I don't think ruin the plot. But there are no reviews out just yet, so we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed. But speaking of horror tropes, Australia is getting a reputation. The next film we have to talk about is Outback, a new horror thriller that is not helping Australia's image. This one is set for online release on the 9th of June. Outback, directed by Mike Green, is about American tourists Wade and Lisa who travel to Australia for an outback adventure, but find themselves, yeah, you guessed it, stranded in the Australian outback. You're killing me here! To be honest, I'm not mad at this one. I think the cinematography looks beautiful, the sweeping landscapes across Australia. I'm actually gonna watch this one. There might even be some cute critters. I sound so Australian when I say critters, don't I? Critters. Some cute critters. Next, let's talk about Warning Do Not Play. This film will be available on the 11th, but it will only be available on Shudder. The film was already released across Asia in 2019, and unfortunately, it doesn't have amazing reviews. This is a South Korean horror mystery directed by Kim Jin-won, and it's about a rookie film director that searches for an infamous banned movie, which leads to the path of obsession and danger. I'm keen on this one because, as you guys know, I watched Antrim recently, and I also watched Cigarette Burns as part of Masters of Horror, and it has the same kind of storyline, so I'm actually kind of keen to see where this one goes and how it takes it. There's a few films that have covered this kind of topic before, and I always like them, but we will see. The last film I have to talk about is Scare Package. I'm sure you've seen a lot of buzz for this film around, and you can tell why by just looking at the poster. Scare Package did the festival runs in 2019, and on the 18th, it is set for a VOD release in America as a Shudder original. The movie is a comedy, horror, anthology boasting 7 directors, 7 stories, and non-stop bloody entertainment. From the trailer, the stories appear to be unique, yet a meta look at horror and the stereotypes we all know. It doesn't look to take itself too seriously, but it does so in style. It won Best Horror Comedy Feature at the Nightmare Film Fest, and it was a nominee for the Being Different Award at the Mullins Film Festival, which actually sounds really exciting, and I'm keen to check this one out. But I want to know what you guys are going to be watching this June. Are you excited about any of these films? Let me know down below, and please make sure to check out the release dates in your country. Things can change because of the sensitive time we're in, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful. And if you want to subscribe, I would love to have you here. I do 2 new videos every single week, and I think my list of 20 stalker films might be coming up pretty soon. I hope you guys are having a great day. Stay spooky. Bye.